So yeah, just finished up my weekend out there in DeSoto, Texas, and just head back to Austin to hang out with some friends and family for the day, and head back to California tomorrow to get back on my training and get ready for Manchester. So yeah, this past weekend I went into DeSoto, Texas, pretty prepared for my race. My coaches had given me some new techniques to use, to keep my mind in the right place for the whole weekend. So I was pretty confident in that, and I was really excited to go to my home crowd and show them what I had, and my parents were there too, which was pretty awesome. Yeah, so I felt good going into the race. Yeah, so Friday practice rolled around. I did my usual warm-up and all my good stuff. Headed up to the gate, did a lap, and noticed something on my bike was messed up, so I went back to the pit area. So I handled what was wrong and went back out on the track, and just did not have a good practice. Just could not get in my zone. After practice, I went over to my mechanic. I started trying to change everything around. After I did that, I knew that my mind was not where it needed to be, and I cooled off like 2 hours later and ended up changing everything back to my original setup. Got my head straight and prepared for Saturday's race. I went up for first round and I know that track so well. Trained there all the time with my buddy Brandon Elmore. Had a great first lap, ended up winning my moto. And after that I was feeling really confident, and I think the momentum just carried over. I ended up winning all 3 qualifying rounds. And then quarters came. I think I got a second in my quarter. Ended up getting a second in my semi. So yeah, main time rolled around. Knew it was time to do everything my coaches had taught me and what I had prepared to do out there. Did my my regular dynamic warm-up. I was definitely feeling a little exhausted after all the rounds and stuff, but knew that if I got my mind in the right place, that I could get on that podium and maybe come home with the win. So I was sitting up there just getting in my zone, and Ron, the gate starter, mentioned to me that they were gonna run a pro rollout for me because I was in front of my home crowd. So yeah, I was pretty excited about that. Did my rollout, crowd went pretty wild for me. I was really excited. Earlier in the year in Reno, I did my rollout, and everybody's pretty quiet when I went out. They raised the gate. It was time for me to get in my zone. Clipped in, got in the moment, and didn't have my best gate. I was a little nervous. I had Sam on one side of me. I think I had Anthony Dean on the other side. So I was a little unconfident, which is not what you need to do when you're on the gate. But I was fortunate enough to get a good start, and went into the first turn in 3rd place and swooped into the 2nd spot. I ended up getting a high load by Tori Nyhog, and I ended up just following him around the track and took home the 3rd spot on the podium. So I was really excited. That was my 2nd podium I've gotten in my career as an elite man and a AA pro. It was just really cool to be able to do that in front of my home crowd, in front of my mom and my dad. I really wanted to show them all the hard work I've been putting in at the Olympic Training Center, living out there in Cali, because they've been supporting me fully, sending me a little bit of money here and there. So yeah, Sunday rolled around, woke up, knew it was going to be raining, and guess what? It was typical DeSoto weather. Didn't really get to do my typical warm-up, just did a track warm-up, but I was feeling pretty comfortable out there. So first round rolled around. I ended up getting a 4th spot, which was more points than I had all day in my motos, but I didn't let it fluster me, and held it together in my 2nd moto. I think I got a 1st, and then a 3rd moto came through and I got another 4th, but it was all good. It set me up for my quarterfinal. I think I was a little flustered in my quarter, just a little nervous. I had a pretty tough one. Didn't have the best gate, but I pulled it together. Ended up qualifying there. Then my semi rolled around, and I was feeling a little better mentally, since I had gotten to that semifinal, which is always something that I really want to do. At least get to my semis. So yeah, my semi came, and went into the last turn in second behind Maris, and I knew that if I pushed it to the line, that I had a chance of passing him. And when you win your semifinal, you get the first gate choice in the main event. So yeah, across the line, I pulled through and passed him. It was time to head up to the gate in the main. I got second choice. Anthony Dean got first choice. He chose 2, so I chose that gate 1. I knew that I wouldn't have anybody on the left side of me to block my view and just be there in my way. So yeah, sitting in gate 1, got in my zone, was super pumped, but also relaxed at the same time. I knew that I had a chance to get this thing and take that 1 home. So staring at that light as usual. I had the perfect gate. It was, I hadn't had a better gate all weekend. I pulled into that first turn, sitting in second behind Maris. I saw an opening, so I took it. I went in for the swoop, came through. I feel like I made a pretty clean pass. After that, I was coming out of the turn, so nervous. Just, I hadn't been in that position before in the Elite Men main, and I really haven't been, I guess, in the front of a main for a while since I turned AA. Yeah, so coming out of the second turn, I was feeling the pressure for sure. Bonked a little through there, but it wasn't enough to give Maris that line to pass me, and I ended up coming away with the win, which is what I've always wanted to do since I was a little kid. So I was super pumped, and even better, I did it in front of the home crowd. Yeah, that was definitely an experience I will never forget. So yeah, I came across the finish line and was just so pumped, so relieved. I finally got that win. And I went past the finish line and just put my head down and tried to take it all in, and everybody started running up to me, all my friends and family, which was awesome to see. I love having all those fans. It's such a big part of the sport, and I enjoy all the young kids, because I was in their shoes when I was growing up. And yeah, it was just such a humbling experience, just taking photos with everybody, and doing that. And also kind of cool, I had the UCI official next to me, ready for me to do my drug test. After that, I ended up going on the podium, got to talk to Maris, really for the first time ever. We kind of have little small talks, but we talked for a little bit, which is very cool. He's a good guy. I got that podium shot, and it's just such a great way to wrap up my weekend here back in Texas. Yeah, I can't forget to mention this. My mom really wanted me to put this on camera, but yeah, when I was a little kid, I always had to put in that extra effort to win, because I was always racing for Pokemon cards. I was so addicted to the Pokemon cards, and every time I'd get a win, that was my bribe to win, was to get a couple packs of Pokemon cards. And now I'm growing up, and now the money's involved, so it's kind of my new incentive for it all. So yeah, I'd just like to give a big thanks to first, God, also my mom and my dad. I love them so much. A huge thanks to my team owner, Jim Buchanan, for believing in me and supporting me through this this experience. Also to my coaches, Jamie Staff and James Herrera, and last but not least, all my sponsors, S-Square, Answer, Tioga, Trolley Designs, Sunringle, Little Love Apparel, Morphine Industries, and yeah.